Okay, so today we're going to learn how to work with the arrays and match the two arrays. This is pretty advanced and common pattern to save operations in case where you have two or several lists, right? And you need to match data here and there. So in this example, we're going to match the contacts in one table. So our contact has part of the data in this table, right? With, let's say, name and email, and it has common identifier, same email, right? But they have a phone number in another table. So our goal is to find and match them and spend less of operations, and for this we're going to use the method where we're going to match the arrays, means whole tables at once in our functions, instead of iterating this each of record one by one and going to check the call air table to get the data in here. Okay, so for that we are going to get this data as two arrays, and we will work with them as with the array. So let's start to do it. Okay, so this is our scenario I use. So I use the custom API call to get an array, just easier for me. You can aggregate the data from the regular search module if you need, because this is not the task for the particular lesson. Do not like how to get a data as an array. We assume we have two arrays, and it might be not air table at all, right? So we got this data from our air table, and we need to perform checks for it. So for that, I'm going to have my two arrays, right? So I'm going to clone my module to get another array. You will have it as an example. Okay, just to double check, so I got array 1 with 19 items in it, and I have array 2 with also 9 items in it. So they are have fields with a phone and email, right, in that array, and I have the fields with a email and a name, right? So I need to match them, and I need to let's say find change that happened in my array or so. So for that, I'll just split them together and create one common array of data. So let's do it real quick. And for that, we need to think on the logic of our thing. So first of all, logic will be quite simple, because if we just assume you would have the two regular module that would list your data one by one, right? So what you probably would intend it to do is to take one record, right, and try to find that record into another table. So something similar we're going to do with our arrays, with two of them to match. So we're going to use the iterator to iterate, let's say, our first array, right? That will return us data just like this, our records one by one. So we can take them and match. I want to take actually the first one, this one, with, let's say, names. Okay, so this is what we've got. Will be a name and an email and so. So our goal is create a new large array, right? And for that, we need to match this data. And again, we probably won't use that guy because you see it's just kind of useless. It won't give us, like if I select the data and data here, and I will do the iterator, that will just create some mess for me. Okay, so just like data record. So you see I just got a bunch of weird things, so like records in it, because I can't control what exactly will be created here, right? So what I can do, though, I can create a structure for my future array, and for that we're going to use the module JSON and create a JSON. So that will help us to create a structure for my future JSON. And I'm going to take the part from the previous one, right? So I assume I want to have the something like, we speaking about array, right? So it will be array. So records and array of this guy. And I'm just going to add one more field with a phone number. Nothing complex. So to build my structure in here, we'll call it test JSON. We'll try to generate my structure from the previous one. Let's open JSON link to make sure it's everything correct and valid and visible. So I do have this guy. I need to start my JSON right to have it, and that will be my collection. So let's assume I want to save that structure as is, right? And have many more items. So I just want to have one item, close my array, and close my whole thing. So that will give me a valid JSON, right? So only one thing I want to add after comma definitely will be my phone. So phone and some text in here. Okay, valid, copy, done. I can copy this and create my new JSON. Let's see if that will work. Yeah, so this will give me array, and I can structure my array aggregator. So let's save it and let's try to pull the structure. Okay, so my structure is good. It's good and fine, right? So, and it works. So now I'm able to create array with exactly structure as I want to have it, right? But I need to have the parameters. So I can start to map this from the first from the iterator, right, which iterates me and gives me the items from the first array, right? So my name, notes, email, and so on. So let's start to build it. So my ID, then created time, goes this way. Then I have my name, field, notes, email definitely, a title. Okay, but something missing, and that missing is a phone, right? And this is the basic trick, right, that going to happen in this scenario. So we need to find out what will be the phone number for that particular guy from this record. It's quite simple. We're going to use the map function to find out the phone number for this guy, right? So I recommend you to watch the map function video if in a function section if you haven't seen it yet, or if you don't understand how to work with a map, right? And we will do it once again here. So I'm trying to explain you how it works. So we're going to find the phone number, right, for our guy from that array, where our email equal to email that we have in this iterator. So let's build it. So I do my map function for the guy. But first, before I'll do it, I want to make sure I do it correctly. And I will just take my set variable module to make sure it will all works. I want to limit it with a bundle order position 1, because to understand that it works, I will just, for me, will be enough one bundle, right, to not spend, well, it might be 5,000 records here, and that will do one run per record, meanwhile one operation. So I'll do my expression here, then we'll just copy paste in my array aggregator. So same thing. So we're going to do a map for what? For that record, right? So we need to get something from that complex array. That something will be a phone, right? So we build a path to our record using dot notation to our thing, right? And we have the top layer for our records, which we work with, our root level, right? And we build the path. So path will look like fields, and then, because it's a collection, I will have email. So we'll type it, then we'll double check. So fields dot email. Save. Let's check the output to make sure that's not that one, definitely here, because we work with this one, to make sure the structure is correct. So my output, scroll down, and I do see that I have to, because I'm referencing one collection here, because I work with the records, right? So I need to get fields email, exactly as you do with a variable, right? As you build a variable. So fields dot phone, fields dot phone. So this is what I need to get, right? So fields, I will even put it here. So fields dot phone. So this is the thing I'm looking for. And we may just put a couple of spaces. And my key for filtering will be similar. It will be fields dot and email. So this will be my key for filtering. We'll just copy this text, go to my variable to make sure it works. Yeah, so this was incorrect initially. So you see how always good to see the structure. So my fields phone, right? This is thing I need to get. From that array, I need to get this thing, and my field email should be equal to, and that 2 will be my current email, right? For each record, I'm going to check it. So this will be my current email. That's it. It's almost it, because that will return me array, but it's okay for my test. So I will just run this guy. So I filtered one record, only the first one, right? To find the value. So I check, and that match it to some value that I have. I may check my first record, field ID, its rows, example. I may take it just in case, go to my table and try to find that email, and it belongs to rows. So I'm good. And you remember that we got array, so this is not enough for us. We need to have a value. So get and 1. So that will give me my phone number, right? So here you go. We got our phone number. And that's basically it. So I can copy this expression and reuse it in my phone field, because that will do exactly what I need. So we're done. Actually, with our thing, I can run it. So the output of my array aggregator will be array of these items, and each item will contain a phone. So I can go and double check for random couple of guys to make sure all works fine. Okay, so you see 92, all good, belongs to Billy. Is it Billy? Yeah, it's Billy. Okay, then we go to 13, let's say, and check. It's like Alex Tech, and it's Theresa. Where is Theresa? It's Theresa. So good. So that's how you build your array. So that actually a kind of a trick that you can use for creating a structure, right? Because you remember you always referencing kind of following modules, right? So not previous, but the following. And you either can keep this module if you're okay with wasting of operations, or what you can do, as soon as you set that one, you can unlink this module. I am not recommend you to remove it, but you can unlink it, and that will allow you to use this array in further thing here. Okay, so you can reference this array, you can reference some item from it, let's say the 5th guy phone number will work fine, no problem with it, all good. But if you will open that module, you will immediately lose the structure that you had, because there is no following structure. You click cancel just to keep it, right? All good, you still have it. If you need to add it, that structure, add some changes, you simply link the module once again. That allows us to pull the structure and work with it to make some changes. So that is an option that you may use to, first of all, kind of rebuild and create some structure, kind of trick a bit your array aggregator, which is okay, but it has to have a structure, and currently Make does not allow us to create the structures here, the custom one, or reuse existing, right? And we literally, because it's not a structure, it's a piece of a structure, just inheriting the structure field. Okay, so we trick this one, and what we've done here, we literally rebuilt our array of whatever items you have, right? Using just and wasting just 2 operations. So as you understand, in here you may have array of I don't know, 5,000, let's say, records, and whatever number of records will be here and here. You can also add some filtering, right? So I assume do not want to have this Lauren in my new array. So, but that will allow you to waste 2 only operations for whatever number of things you have. You don't need to call all the time Airtable with each record to check if that email or whatever exists. And that also decreases the probability of error, because you, if you will do the call like 1,000 times, you will get either API limit error, or you like literally each time you do a call, you increase the probability to fail, right? Just it's just mathematical, the theory of probability, where you like as much time you do the thing, there's more probability that you will fail, right? So that's how it works. And yeah, so that's hopefully will help you to do the stuff. And as you see, that option comparing to like matching the records, I don't know, like 5,000 records, you can do it once, right? Waste 5,000 operation will be fine. But if you need to do that match, let's say each minute or each 5 minutes, right? So that will cost you too much operation. Just super quick calculation will show us 5,000 operation per even 5 minutes will give us how much? It's exactly 12, right? 12 times per hour. So that will give you 60,000 per hour only per 24 hours, it will be 1 million operations done. So you waste too much operation for this simple check. While with this one, you will waste how much? 4, right? So 4 operations. And that will give you 1,000 operations per day, which is way, way, way more than fine. By 35 K operation for checking, as we may say, let's say a store or like a drop shipping source where you're comparing the prices. So it's completely okay, it's completely fine. Speaking about operation cost. So this hopefully will help you to work with a matching 2 arrays in in your further actions.